Have you ever been insulted or greatly emotionally hurt? It stays with you. Every one of us can think of a time when maybe in like middle school or high school or even by a family member when we've been hurt. And we can remember it because it stays with us. Jackson says, never look down on anybody unless you're helping them up. Our brother Thomas, who now owns his own company, has worked with companies like Microsoft to create projects. He's one of the co-creators and has several patents for Windows 7. He just left Google and started, or co-owns a company with his friend that's now worth over $30 million. So he has a few reasons to be kind of cocky sometimes. I recently stayed with him for a few weeks, and while talking, he kind of greatly insulted me. We got in a big fight, and we wound up not talking to each other for a few days. Once we calmed down, we realized that this quote really has a lot of sense in it, and we kind of calmed down and talked about it, and realized we're both stronger in different areas than the other, but we're both equal as human beings, and we shouldn't insult each other, look down, and be condescending to each other. Our Constitution was founded saying that all men are created equal, and our country still lives by this today. We have several military service personnel, or ex-personnel in this room, that can all attest that we help other countries and we help our own people. It's what we do as a country, because although we may be at war with people, we don't look down upon them afterwards, or if a national disaster strikes. A lot of us are more financially well off than the people who were in southern Louisiana that got hit by Katrina, yet we still, I'm sure a lot of us in this room even donated in some sort of way to help out people, and our country spent millions of dollars to help these people, even though we're better off than most of them are, or ever will be now because of that, because we don't look down upon our fellow kinsmen. Nobody is better than others. Even our government and other countries' governments wouldn't be in existence if they didn't follow this rule. Even unknowingly, they don't look down upon others because they need their people and fellow government workers to remain afloat and to help. In World War II, Germany didn't really follow this, and they looked down upon millions of other people. Look how it worked for them. It doesn't end up well. So if you just remember, never look down on anybody unless you're helping them up. You as a person will be a better person, and you'll make someone else's life a little bit better, or prevent it from becoming a little bit worse someday. Thank you.
I'm going now.
Yeah, just a second. All right, the rhetorical question at the beginning is okay. It's a little bit vague on some of the things that you're talking about, but when you get to the story about you and your brother, I think that actually works pretty well. Even the story stays a little bit vague, but the idea is, I think, clearly connected to what you're talking about, and that helps. Your visual factors when it comes to speaking, you've got the pen in one hand, the paper in the other. Sometimes you trade the paper off, but it limits your gestures. It keeps your eyes focused down much more often than you want, and I think that becomes a distraction. If you get those things out of your hand, I think you would feel a little bit more engaged with the audience and a little bit less like you're giving this speech to the audience or at the audience, but you are here talking with us. Your eye contact drops out as a consequence sometimes. I think there are a few places where you do start to make a connection, but then it just seems to dissipate, and I think you need to be more consistent at that. We could hear you pretty well. Your dynamics in your voice are sort of in a narrow range, and so I think that could be a little bit broader. The examples are okay. They could, they're fine. There's not a lot of details. There aren't any stories that you've got involved. It's just the conclusions that you're giving on those points, and the conclusions fit with the theme that you're talking about, but it needs to be a little bit more interesting. All right. Thank you.